Hi, everyone. My name is Elizabeth Matherne, and I am the managing attorney here at Stern Law. I am here to do Facebook Live this evening. I want to talk to you about what is crimmigration, give you some ideas on some practical examples of what crimmigration is and how a crimmigration attorney can help in your case. Also answer some questions live. So we are here today to do that. I'm so excited to be here with you. I am excited to talk about crimmigration. This is my area of practice, and it's something that I love, and all the attorneys here at Stern Law love. And we have a great sense of purpose in working in crimmigration law. So we're more than happy to talk about it and answer your questions live. If you are seeing this later, like after it's been recorded and is being played again, please feel free to do the thumbs up, the hearts, the little support for us, and share with your friends if you think this is helpful. So we can jump right in. I usually like to give people a few minutes to join, and I'm a little early today. So usually our Facebook Live starts at 7. I went ahead and started it early. This will give me a little bit more time to be with y'all. But I want to jump right in. So, what is crimmigration? Is the overarching theme of this few minutes that we have together. Crimmigration law is what we practice here at Stern Law. And what does that mean? So, it is a very ingenious combination of the words criminal defense and immigration. Combines criminal defense and immigration defense or immigration law. That means that we represent non-citizens in criminal cases, so people with no status or permanent residency. And we also represent people in immigration cases, which includes immigration courts or applications for benefits before the government, immigration benefits, who may have criminal history, right? So we do not represent citizens in general. We focus exclusively on representing non-citizens in applications for relief before the court and when facing criminal charges. So that's what crimmigration is in a nutshell. But many people don't necessarily understand, why is that an area of practice? Why is that a thing? And so let me just tell you a little bit about that, right? So in immigration law, there are certain barriers to getting status. They can be criminal history barriers, and those statutes that create those barriers are really complex. So it takes a lawyer who specializes in understanding how a state criminal statute would be analyzed under a federal statute, a federal scheme. And so that's where we come in. For example, a shoplifting charge could be a misdemeanor, could be given to somebody on a ticket. Same with like a simple possession of marijuana can be given to somebody on a ticket. They don't ever get handcuffed or arrested or taken to jail. Maybe they pay a fine and it's done, right? And so many people would think, oh, that's cleaned up, that's taken care of. However, the consequences for non-citizens can be very severe with something even that simple. Something that is potentially like an ordinance violation or a misdemeanor can be an aggravated felony in immigration law, which is like mind-boggling, right? Like, how is something that's a misdemeanor an aggravated felony? How are the two things both true? But in this crazy world of crimmigration, that can't be true. And if you only have a criminal defense attorney who is just focused on the criminal aspects of your case, then you're sort of going in blind and you're missing a huge part of the consequences of accepting a plea or paying a fine. You may not even know that you need, you may not even have a criminal defense attorney because it's a misdemeanor just on a ticket and you're just paying a fine. No big deal. but it is a big deal. So that's where we come in. Now, I think that that's a place where a lot of people don't necessarily even know that they need a lawyer or that they need a specialist. And so the way I always think about it is sort of like in medicine, you if you just have a cold, going to like urgent care, I mean, maybe it's okay, right? Like you can get your cold medicine, you can get a prescription for maybe antibiotics if you have some sort of like sinus infection or something. I'm not a doctor, so this is just an example. But if you have something more serious or something that maybe seems like a cold, but you have a feeling that it's a bigger deal, then you want to see a specialist. Like for example, if it were, I don't know, potentially cancer or something, you want to see a specialist. So that's what we do. We specialize in how the two things impact each other and how they impact you and your family and your life. So most people are somewhat focused on, if I get this conviction, then will I be deported? There's a lot more going on in the analysis. Obviously, no one wants to be ordered deported, but also I want you to get status. I want you to be able to remain open your path to residency and citizenship. And so that's what we're analyzing whenever we have a case and we're hired, even just on the criminal defense side. We're looking at the immigration side. So what is the bigger picture, and does this person have a path to residency and citizenship that they never even knew about? And how will this criminal case impact that potential avenue for status? So it's almost like getting two lawyers in one, right? So for example, this can come into play a lot of times with someone who's been arrested on a charge. Could be anything like a no driver's license, not having a driver's license. It could be as serious as drug trafficking, human trafficking, aggravated assault, be anything. And keep in mind that anybody can accuse you of doing anything at any time. So many people may get on their soapbox and say, oh, well, that person's guilty because they were accused of a crime. No, that's not true. People are accused of crimes that they didn't commit every day. And because of the way our justice system is kind of like designed, and there's a lot of books about it and documentaries, people plead guilty to crimes they didn't commit every day in the United States because they make an evaluation that it's what they need to do based on, it can't keep coming back, can't keep missing work. They're looking at the accusations against them and making a judgment call with an attorney that they need to move forward with resolving the case some way, right? So there's a lot of conversations that happen every day. People are accused of crimes that they didn't do, or but that still means you could be arrested, right? So you're arrested, you're detained, maybe you get a bond, and you don't have status. So what next, right? You're now sort of in the system. You maybe have no status at all. You have a bond, and maybe you have no ICE hold. So what do? Do you pay the bond, try to get out and see what happens? Potentially, yes. And there's a lot of different parts of the legal analysis. So I can't give you just a straightforward answer. It's not A plus B plus C, because it depends on a lot of different factors related to each individual case. The same goes true for if you are detained, like arrested, detained, given a bond, and you have an ICE hold. What do you do then? Do you pay the bond? If you pay the bond, ICE has 48 hours to pick you up. They may not. You can't necessarily see into the future that whether or not they're going to pick you up. But we're able to do the analysis for you to understand if they do pick you up, then this is what would happen next. You would go to immigration detention, potentially. This is whether or not you're eligible for a bond in front of the immigration court. These are the applications that you're eligible for in front of the immigration judge or not, right? What is the strategy if you're moved over into ICE custody? Or then if, like, we don't know for sure, but then if ICE doesn't pick you up, what then? How does that look? Are you eligible for an application? Are you in danger of ICE coming to your house to then pick you up later? All of that we help people navigate. And so um, when we feel a great sense of purpose in being beside people through those situations and helping people strategize and understand what are the possibilities and what can happen in their case. A lot of times we will get people who maybe will ask us, okay, I've been arrested for DUI. Does that mean that I'm going to get deported? So somebody might, if you don't have status, or even if you have residency, permanent residency, somebody might think, oh, that's definitely going to result in a deportation. So it may not, right? But it also might prevent you from being eligible for certain applications for relief. For example, in cancellation of removal, one of the 4 elements for cancellation of removal for non-permanent residents, also known as like 10-year cancellation, or people also think about it like, oh, I've been here 10 years and I have a United States citizen child. Well, there's 4 elements to that application, and I can rattle those off, and it's not necessarily that like important for us to do that at this moment. But one of those elements that's required for you to prove when applying for cancellation is that you have good moral character. So there is case law that says over 2 DUIs within the statutory period of 10 years can make it a rebuttable presumption that you can't prove good moral character. Rebuttable presumption means that you could potentially overcome that barrier, but it's already a mountain built against you. And so if you are arrested for a DUI and you don't have status, but you're eligible for a cancellation of removal, the analysis and like the sort of understanding of how high the stakes are for you really can shift depending on the level of knowledge that the attorney has regarding the immigration system as well as the DUI. And so in a case like that, where you might lose your opportunity for a really great application, cancellation of removal, which can only be filed in front of the immigration judge, you would need to take that into consideration if you're thinking about accepting a plea. And your attorney would need to take that into consideration when they're evaluating the case, the strength of the case, looking at if there are any motions to suppress, any errors, like anything in the discovery, making sure to investigate the scene. Things like that are going to be really, really important when the stakes are as high as they could potentially be, even though it's just a DUI. A regular criminal defense attorney may think, like, oh, I can get you straight probation. You can get out of jail and close this case and be done with it. But it's still a conviction. And so there we go. That's sort of where the analysis and where the rubber hits the road of what is crimmigration as a perfect example of what is crimmigration. Something that for a regular criminal defense attorney may seem completely innocuous or completely simple and not a big deal, could be a big deal. All right, so what if you like get a conviction, you plead guilty to something, but you had no idea that it was going to put you in deportation proceedings, make your green card be at jeopardy? Like you're now looking at losing your green card, or you travel and you learn that that conviction you got years and years ago now put you in deportation proceedings. What then? Is there anything you can do? Yeah. Sometimes you can go back and reopen old convictions based on not knowing or understanding the full consequences of those convictions. That's also crimmigration, right? It's that intersection of criminal law and immigration. And that's what we do. And so I could probably talk for hours about this area of the law, and I do love it, and I do enjoy answering people's questions about it. let me tell you a little bit about just a few, like, I guess, real world examples of some things we've done recently. I'm really proud of some victories that our team has had. We have a few attorneys on staff, and they're all amazing. We have been getting some good bonds for people with criminal charges in all sorts of counties all over the state. So, Effingham, Glenn, Cobb, um, Gwinnett, all over Metro Atlanta, and all over the state. So, we go all over. Um, Sometimes it can be a hurdle for you to get a bond if you have an ICE hold and you don't have status, right? So the criminal court can say, oh well, we should give you a really high bond or no bond at all because you're probably going to go into immigration custody and you may not come back, and we want you to face these charges. This is where an attorney that understands how the ICE hold mechanisms work, what someone is eligible for on the immigration side of things, how all of these two areas of the law and big areas of the government intersect. They can argue very effectively and with experience on both sides of how these things play out. And our attorneys have done really, really well in the past few weeks of making those challenging arguments and anti-immigrant jurisdictions and getting bonds. So we've gotten $10,000 bonds. And I mean, I'm talking about for serious charges, right? Possession of drugs, guns, aggravated assault, that kind of thing, and getting bonds of 10,000, 15,000, 35,000, things like that. Okay. So, where there's additional hurdles in being a non citizen in criminal court, we're overcoming those. And it's really, really exciting. And I'm super proud of the work that we're doing and what the attorneys are doing out there. So, I think that in a nutshell, crimmigration is really the intersection of two very specific areas of the law: criminal defense and immigration, right? So we're barred in Georgia. I'm also barred in Florida. We take cases locally all over the state for criminal defense. And then we take cases for immigration anywhere in the states and anywhere in the world. So if you have an immigration case that's got an extra level of complexity related to a past criminal history, current pending charges, anything like that, that you'd like us to take a look at and give you a set of fresh eyes, an opinion by specialists on what you can do, what you have access to, what is available to you for your status, to keep your status or get your status, or you want to fight your criminal charges in a way that is, I guess, like the best way, right? Where you have full ability to see what may happen, what the consequences are, what the most prudent and well thought out resolution for your criminal case could be, then we definitely would be happy to help. So please reach out to us. As I said, my name is Elizabeth Matherne. I am the managing attorney at Stern Law. We do consultations every day. We are more than happy to consult with you on your criminal case, your immigration case, your post-conviction relief case, which means like appealing a case, anything like that. We would be more than happy to help. And I am one of the attorneys that does consultations with us. We also have Maria Batres, who does consultations, and also we have two other fantastic attorneys, Lisette Gomez and Jessica Luna. And you probably have seen both of them on our Facebook Lives. You will continue to see all of these wonderful faces, Maria, Jessica, and Lisette on our Facebook Live, and me on our Facebook Live. So don't hesitate to follow so you can get the little alerts that we're going live. And please, mark your calendar for Wednesdays at 7 p.m. and join us. We're more than happy to help answer your questions, give you all the information you need to understand what it is we do, and help you make the best informed decisions in your life and in your case. All right. It's been a pleasure being with you. I always enjoy it. And I hope that you have a really great night and you learned something. If so, please feel free to like and share. We really appreciate it. We're excited to always share information with you. And let us know if you want to message me directly with any case questions. You can do that through this post, and we will answer. If you have fact specific questions, please do that through private message. I would rather your details of your or your loved one's case not be on a public forum, so you don't waive confidentiality or anything like that. Post it in a private message. We're happy to engage with you. If you want to talk with us one-on-one, we're also happy to be there for you for a consultation. All right. Well, everybody have a great Wednesday night, and I hope you have a great rest of the week. It's almost August, it's almost back to school, and a lot of fun stuff is happening in the world. So take good care, and we'll talk soon. Bye.